friends, welcome to the channel Connect Talks. This is Pranavesh hosting this channel. Connect Talks, an initiative by L&D Global Mumbai chapter in collaboration with Pragati Software Solutions, a space for co-working. Location courtesy, We Grow Business Facilitator. Guys, today we have a gentleman who holds a rich experience of 16 plus years with sectors including brands like JW Marriott, McDonald's and Intercontinental, The Lalit and many more. He is a graduate from the Institute of Hotel Management, Mumbai, and also has a PGDM from Wellingers Institute. Having worked with McDonald's, he is a firm believer of Ray Kroc's preaching that take care of the people and the business will take care of itself. He doesn't need any introduction, but just a one-liner. The IAF Certified Professional Facilitator. So, I am very delighted to introduce or welcome Mr. Ganesh Dalvi here. So, welcome Ganesh to the show.
Ganesh. Thank you so much.
I'm being honored and very obliged to have you here on board today. So, the topic that you're going to be speaking is content neutral facilitation. What's in it for me then? So if you can just go about it.
Well, so let me start off with how I stumbled upon this term. So
Okay.
I've been in learning and development for almost 10 years now.
Okay.
Right? Starting from the PPT based presentations to moving gradually towards behavioral learnings.
All right.
I think one thing that really excited me was the experimentation. So I always tried experimenting with my sessions, getting in something new, having that tinge of excitement and curiosity for my participants.
Correct.
And that's how I happened to attend a session where it was about facilitation, and I was like, okay, let me see what it is all about, because I used to always also call myself a facilitator. So I attended this session and it was a wow experience.
Wow.
One, there were no PPTs.
Okay.
There was no trainer standing there and telling us what the topic is all about, or
Correct.
giving us a download.
Correct.
I saw people sitting in different tables in groups, and the ideas were emerging. Right?
Okay.
The session started at 9 o'clock. We ended at 6, and I was like, I haven't learned. I mean, what did I do over here?
Exactly.
Okay, it was really an amazing experience, and I said, yes, I need to learn this.
Wow.
And hence I started finding out about facilitation. I spoke to senior facilitators. I started attending workshops. So all my weekends were spent in attending facilitation sessions. I started using it in my
Training
sessions, and I could see that people were, so the first reaction of my participants was the PPT.
Exactly.
So then I tell them, okay, hang on.
Yeah, it is more of 80-20% of 80% the audience speak and 20% the person speaks. It is that way, I guess.
Yes. So so talking about content neutral facilitation or content neutral press facilitation is, the facilitator is the owner of the process.
Okay.
So process is a very structured way of doing certain steps. Okay.
Correct.
And the objective is to come up with real-time solutions.
Okay.
Okay, so we use facilitation in brainstorming. Okay,
Oh, wow.
When you need to strategize,
Okay.
when there is a conflict and we need to resolve that conflict. So what we look at is what is the desired outcome of the workshop.
Correct.
Right? There is a very interesting saying in press facilitation where let the inmates run the asylum.
Oh, wow.
So here we just lead, guide or help the group
Okay.
achieve a desired outcome.
Wow.
Right? When I say content neutral, that does not mean that I am not going to be giving instructions or I'm not going to be giving them any theory. Right? When I talk about content neutrality, is me as a facilitator, I need to be totally unbiased.
Okay.
I cannot impress my views, my thoughts, my ideas on the group.
Okay.
Right? Let the group can decide what is wrong, what would work for them, what would not work for them. Right? So probably say there's a sales team and they want to figure out what strategy would work for them.
Correct.
Okay. So if I'm called in, rather than telling them about what are the different strategies of different sales models that are used, I could probably just run up a process facilitation. And the group will come out what would work for them.
What would work for them?
So rather than me giving my wisdom,
Exactly.
process facilitation believes strongly in group wisdom.
Exactly. Okay.
Right? There is a lot of wisdom, or there is a lot of ideas that every individual holds. My role as a process facilitator is just to help them come up with the ideas.
Come up with the ideas,
right?
exactly.
So process facilitation workshop is more about there is a lot of divergence. So
Okay.
a lot of different ideas come in. Okay. Then we kind of filter it out and then we converge them.
Converge them. Okay.
So a typical facilitation workshop would have a lot of involvement. Okay. So every individual is involved. We empower the participants to come up with ideas.
Okay.
To share their thoughts. So
Okay.
it's a very safe environment. Everybody has the freedom to express his or her opinion.
Okay.
We agree to disagree. So there could be debates, there could be
Healthy
arguments, right? But then within a structure.
Okay.
Right? You could ask questions. So it's a very interesting and very intense workshop.
Interactive things.
Very, very interactive, right? So people are engaged, people are involved, people are empowered.
Exactly.
Right? So when they leave their workshop, they feel that yes, I have learned something. One, at the same time, when most learning engagements or learning interventions fizzle out at the end of the day.
Correct.
Right? So I have trained people on something. I don't know what's their buy-in when they go back to their workplace. Now, when we do a facilitation workshop, people have come up with their own solutions. Now, this is the problem, this is the solution, and this solution has been given by me.
Okay.
And not by any trainer who's come from outside.
Exactly.
Right? So the buy-in and the commitment is much higher
Okay.
when they need to execute it back at their workplace.
Workplace.
Because they are the owners of those solutions.
Exactly.
So it's a great feeling, and generally what we do is when we are designing this workshop, we interact with different stakeholders. So it's not just the HR or the L&D head whom we interact with. So I would first speak to the HR head or the L&D head, try to understand what are the concerns.
Exactly.
I would then speak to the business heads, maybe the CEO or the owner of an organization,
Correct.
try to understand what are the challenges. We also make a point to interact with the participants, the key stakeholders.
Okay.
So what happens is we get a very holistic picture.
Okay.
There are times when the HR has given us a mandate, like say one instance happened where he said, I want to do a negotiation skills workshop and can you do it for us? I said, okay. As a process, we went and spoke to the L&D head. He told us, yeah, there is an issue with negotiations. Then I said, okay, let me speak to the other stakeholders. So when I spoke to the business heads, we realized that the problem was not negotiation per se. The problem was interdepartmental coordination.
Oh, conflict.
There was conflict. There was lack of ownership. People felt that the other person is doing more work than me.
Oh.
The grass is greener on the other side. So then I went back to the HR head and I said, Kibble, this is not what I seem. So negotiation is not an issue. The issue is we need to get them together. We need to have them in synchrony. So then we designed the workshop in a different way. We got all the stakeholders together. We went to a resort. I ran some processes, and the results were very relevant.
Okay.
Right. So what they expected was, okay, somebody who would be coming and telling us about different negotiation techniques and methods. And the best thing was they'd actually gone on the net and they had studied everything and come back. Okay. But when they ended the workshop, it was a really different experience.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So and process facilitation is not really rigid. So we believe in fluidity. There are times when we have actually gone astray a process. We have gone. We have actually challenged the structure that we ourselves have designed and done something because we feel that yes, it needs to be done because it was the need of the hour. Okay, so a lot of times we modify processes, we might add in a new process, we might not do something that we already planned. And it is very important that you need to have a very clear buy-in from your stakeholders or client sponsored as we call it. Okay, so we tend to do that. We interact very strongly with different stakeholders.
Correct.
Right. To do a normal one-day workshop, it might take us anywhere between 4 to 8 days.
Oh.
Just for the designing.
Wow.
So there is a lot of.
What all? If I speak about a process facilitation, what all steps do you include in that? If shorten.
All right. So first, a process of a workshop would work provided it is relevant.
Okay.
So one, the client collaboration has to be really strong.
Okay.
Okay, we need to have a very clear understanding of what exactly the client requires.
Okay.
A lot of time, a client might just give us the symptoms.
Correct.
Like he might say there is an attendance issue, so do a time management workshop.
Correct.
As a facilitator, I need to figure out whether that's a symptom or that's a root cause.
Correct.
So we dig really deep before we really propose a process or what would be the workshop flow. We speak.
So there's a root cause analysis behind it.
We do a root cause analysis. We have conversations with people, and very importantly, while I'm doing this, I need to be very neutral. The moment I go with a bias that okay, this is a problem, my purpose will get defeated.
Exactly.
So right from the time I'm interacting with the client, one, I need to be very neutral. I should not have my own paradigms.
Correct.
And then have an interaction.
Correct. So you should understand the person in front also, right? Opponent person.
Absolutely.
Understand his pain, understand his opinions also as a facilitator.
If I'm not doing that, I cannot call myself as a facilitator.
Facilitator. Wow, wonderful.
Right?
Okay.
So once that is done, then we check with them. What kind of time do we have? Okay. So it's not necessary that we need an entire day to run a process. A process could be as short as 2 hours.
Oh.
Right. So time is very essential. We check out how much time can they give.
Okay.
What is the outcome that they want?
Okay.
Do they just want to identify the problem and they would figure out the solutions themselves? Or do they want us to help them
with the solutions?
With the solutions, or rather than help them arrive
to a solution.
Okay. So that we look at that.
Okay.
Then what kind of processes would we use? Okay. What kind of space do we have?
Okay.
So there are chances that you might not have an open space. You might need to do it in a cramped conference room.
Okay. So what all processes that you use in a content neutral facilitation?
So there are some classic processes which are used. Could be gallery walk.
Okay.
There is Textra, there is World Cafe, there is open space technology.
Okay.
There is double reverse. So these are basic processes which can be used
in a process
facilitation. One very important thing, Pranavesh, I would like to highlight here is your processes need to be based on the outcome.
Okay.
So you need to go backwards.
Correct,
you cannot say that okay, I've learned a new process and I need to squeeze in somewhere.
No.
Right? You need to see whether it is relevant to the outcome. Will it really give me what I want to achieve as a facilitator? Okay, then you could use a process. So a lot of times we design processes based on the requirement of
outcomes.
Requirement of the outcomes. Okay.
So that is obviously an objective on the goal that you set.
Right. So facilitative storytelling is something which is a very interesting methodology.
I heard it from Sharon Matthews.
Yes. So Sharon is a storyteller. So she tells stories and she's really good at that.
Exactly.
When I use storytelling in my workshops, I don't tell stories myself.
Okay.
I get the participants to share stories. So if I could share an example, we were doing a strategy meet for an organization, and after the 3-day budget goal setting, they wanted the team to come up with what is going to be the roadmap. So we used storytelling over there.
Wow.
For an entire day, we got them to tell stories, and we had the top notch.
So individuals?
No, it was a group. So we had a group of around 90 people. Including the CHRO, the CEO, everybody over there, right? And they had to, so the structure was they need to identify where they want to go, what could be the possible hurdles or obstacles that would come in the way, and how would they overcome them.
Overcome them, exactly.
And the entire day was spent in it.
Okay.
And can you tell me how much time I would have spoken as a facilitator?
Maybe 1/4 of the day?
I spoke for just 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
Just explain to them what is the process, what are the elements of storytelling, what is it that they need to do.
In the entire day, just 15 minutes?
15 minutes. The group was left to themselves. The top executive, the CEO, CHRO were the anchors. So they were the ones who were guiding the groups to ensure that they were in sync.
Okay.
Right? My role was just to ensure that the process was followed.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, you could see the creativity of these people.
Exactly.
It was amazing.
Okay.
Right? There was a lot of interdepartmental issues of conflicts that were
conflicts
there. There were a lot of undercurrents
Okay.
that were there, which people were not able to bring out.
Correct.
Okay, those came up,
Huh.
and trust me, the CHRO was shocked. It was like, then the ESS that we were doing needs to be reworked.
Exactly. Correct.
So those things got ironed out. People spoke openly about the challenges that they were facing in the field.
Okay.
So those were taken care of, and there was a buy-in from the CEO that we will address them.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of things happened.
Okay. So could you let us know? I had one thing in my office that there was a bridge making activity, and I made this bridge making activity for all the heads of the department, HOD departments. So what was this bridge making activities? Using newspapers, to bridge up, right? So the thing was, I made it two parts, divided into two groups. They said, okay, this is the bridge making activity you need to work out. You have 1 hour in your hand to make the bridge,
right.
Construct the bridge.
Right.
So I gave them the roadmap and everything, what has to be, dimensions and everything I just gave them. Post which, first 22 minutes, they were only thinking, is it possible or not? So here the solution came in, later on when the stage started, okay, it is possible, we can start, and then there were like so much conflict because everybody is a head of the other department. So I am an head of another department, he is an head of another department. So the conflicts made up, like, why should I listen to you, why should you listen to me? That is what it was. But post 22 minutes, when the work started, it took up eventually. So that is how the thing was. But the entire task came up so fantastically that the bridge was successfully done after 1 hour. And they even said that, boss, you made us work together.
Wow. So this could be an example of facilitation, where you are getting people together and engaging them in a conversation. Okay. Another very important aspect of facilitation is the debrief.
Okay.
Right. So a facilitation has got no control on the content of the debrief. He would just ask certain questions. So when you talk about debrief, the questioning is very important. What kind of questions you would ask to the audience and elicit
Correct.
the right information.
Correct.
So debrief definitely plays a very, very key role in.
Wonderful. So how about debriefing that you go with go during your process facilitation?
Oh yeah, that's a good one, Pranavesh. I think debriefing plays a very critical role in a process facilitation, because ultimately the quality of debriefing will decide what the outcomes come out with. Okay, so in debriefing, questioning plays a very important role, right? As a facilitator, I need to be very clear on the outcomes, and I've been talking about outcomes throughout our discussion because outcome is what is important.
Correct. Begin with an end in mind.
And we actually need to go backwards.
Okay.
And the way we in a process facilitation workshop, the hero is the process.
Correct. Absolutely right.
So debriefing plays a very important role. So debriefing, there are different techniques to do debriefing. So one commonly used debriefing technique is the ELTD, where we talk about what was your experience, or what were the emotions, what were the learnings, what was the takeaways, what kind of takeaways did you have, and what was the discovery. So while we are running the process, a lot of participants discover something new about themselves or the people around them.
Johari window.
Johari window, yes. So this could be one structure of debriefing that could be used. We use stop, start, continue. Okay. Things that you would stop doing, something that you would continue doing, something new that you might want to initiate.
Okay, what is it? Stop,
start, continue.
Oh, wow.
That's another
process
structure that we could use. Debriefing is again what did the participants feel in a workshop?
Correct.
Okay, what were the outcomes? So there are some very obvious outcomes. There are some emergent learnings also. Something which was not planned. So
naturally.
Yes. So So as a facilitator, you also need to learn different debriefing techniques.
Wow.
Right, and that is where you need to really be very content neutral. You need to stand on the bank and conduct the debriefing.
Correct. Wow, wonderful. Just another question out here. How do you do questioning during your process facilitation?
Well, so I would ask questions like, okay, what did you feel?
Okay.
What did you observe? What
Okay.
was your experience?
Okay.
Did you notice something which was interesting?
Okay.
In process facilitation, the questions should not be leading.
Acha.
So I should not be asking questions like, did you feel intimidated?
Oh.
Are you scared?
Okay.
So when I ask this question, I am leading my
Leading.
participants.
Okay. Okay.
So my questions have to be very objective.
Objective. Okay.
They have to be direct.
Okay.
Right. So similar to debriefing, questioning again, there's a lot of practice that goes with it.
Oh. Okay.
So once I'm clear with, again, coming back to the desired outcome, I should know what kind of questions I need to ask.
Wow. Okay.
Though I would not recommend having a list of questions, because
Okay.
when I'm doing that,
Huh.
I'm not being content neutral,
you
and
are
I'm being
to-
constrained.
Exactly. Okay. So you're not being neutral out there.
So while we are talking about questions, there could be a lot of questions which might come in from the audience as well.
Okay. So objection handling basically.
Objection handling, it might not be really an objection, but the audience might ask certain questions.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So in a workshop that I was conducting, one of the participants asked me, so Ganesh, how does it happen? Have you done this workshop somewhere? What did they feel? Or how would it happen in your organization?
Okay.
Right? Now, maybe as a trainer, I would have given the answers. As a facilitator, ideally I should not.
Correct.
So my reply to this was, I would love to share my thoughts, but let's do it after the session.
Oh, wow.
So here, by sharing thoughts, what I'm doing is I'm restricting I'm restricting their thoughts.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So these kind of questions need to be, one, you kind of hold back, or then you deflect it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so if somebody says, I don't agree to what Pranavesh says, Ganesh, what do you feel? I would not answer it.
Okay.
I'd probably deflect it to the group. What does
Okay.
the group feel?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Are you in sync
Understood.
with this particular person?
Understood.
Right? So these are small nuances that we have to be mindful of when we are doing a content neutral facilitation.
So somebody doesn't get hurt also, or maybe off the track kind of.
So we should be mindful of certain things, and one way where people don't get hurt is when we have a very clear social contracting. Certain do's and don'ts are set, what we call as a WOW, ways of working. Okay, those again are decided by the group. So if the group says that we will have a break every 1 hour, that will make us feel good, we agree to it.
Wow, wonderful.
If the group says that yes, everybody needs to talk for 5 minutes,
So
that's a norm, and we adhere to it.
adhere to it.
So here I am not really putting down any norms. The norms are decided by the group.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah? I can definitely step in when I feel that an argument is going a little bad.
Bad, huh?
Okay, we are
So
not
then
really
probably
intervention comes in. So there I as a facilitator might step in, and I will not say don't do it because I don't like it.
Correct.
I would say don't do it because of the social contracting of the norms that we've decided. And we need to adhere to it. So there were instances where arguments got really heated, and I had to get the people back and I had to show them the chart. That was these are the norms.
Okay.
Let's follow them because these were decided by you.
Oh, wow. As you mentioned, facilitation process, right? So, if I could ask you one question here, difference between facilitation process and the difference between facilitation process and activity or a game.
Wow, that's a good one. Generally, there is a confusion, and there's a confusion that even I had.
Okay.
What is the difference between an activity or a game and facilitation in a process? Right? Usually when we plan a game or an activity, we have certain learnings at the end of it.
Correct.
So maybe I'm doing So I know that there are these 5 things that I need to tell the audience.
Exactly.
In a process facilitation, in a process, I am the owner of the structure.
Okay.
Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How long each step should take.
Correct.
I have no control over what the outcome could be.
Correct. Absolutely right.
Right, and I'm not supposed to control it. Right, so an activity has its own merits.
Okay.
Right, a process facilitation has its own merits when it talks about the outcomes.
Okay.
So that is one difference between games and activities and processes.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, Ganesh, tell me what are the challenges that you face during a process facilitation?
Yes, we do face challenges. There have been instances when the process facilitation has not gone as smooth. One challenge is people find it difficult to accept that there is no content download.
Oh,
right?
okay.
They
PPT is not being
PPT
used.
is not being used, or there is no content that is given to them. So that's one challenge.
Okay.
We can overcome that by explaining to the stakeholders what exactly are we trying to do. Right. Second challenge that could come in is having arguments between the stakeholders. Right. So for that, I think having a very strong social contracting is essential.
Okay.
Once that is done.
So what do you mean by this social contracting? If you just elaborate.
Social contracting, certain do's and don'ts,
Okay,
and agreement
fine.
on everything.
Okay, fine.
Okay, by everyone.
Okay,
So everybody
okay.
should be
So
aware of
mutually agreement.
there's very clear and transparent
Okay.
dealings.
Okay.
Third challenge could be, are the desired outcomes achieved? Now
Okay.
this generally happens when people might not come up with the right outcomes. So in
Okay.
that case, we probably buy some more time, revisit the outcomes,
Okay.
and then we might do that workshop again.
Oh, okay.
So-
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ganesh. That is all wonderful points on the content neutral facilitation. So it is pleasure mine that you gave the download, and I could also use bit of those things. I could use those processes that you mentioned all about. So viewers, I hope you might also have learned so many things about content neutral facilitation. So this was Ganesh Dalvi and signing off from Pranavesh Shenoy from channel Connect Talks, an initiative by L&D Global Mumbai chapter in collaboration with Pragati Software Solutions, a space for co-working. Location courtesy We Grow Business Facilitator. So thank you again. Let us collaborate, co-create and contribute.
Action.
That